Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Most people have access to far more money than they actually realize. The problem isn't that you don't have resources. The problem is that no one taught you how to use them. You were taught to fear debt, avoid credit, and spend cash because it feels safe. But if cash alone could make you wealthy, almost everyone would be wealthy right now. The truth is simple though. Credit, when used correctly, is one of the most powerful tools a person can leverage to build wealth. A line of credit in particular can be the difference between remaining stuck in the same financial cycle for years and finally being able to invest into opportunities that can change your life. So today we're going to break down exactly what a line of credit is and how to use a line of credit to build wealth step by step. We're also going to discuss this in a way that makes sense, it fits in real world situations, and it actually works. So grab a pen, a notepad, because by the end of this video, you're going to realize something that you've been surrounded by, which is access to money, and you've been surrounded by this your entire life. You just weren't using it properly. And real quick, before we dive in, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I post 4 videos a week, and I don't want you to miss any kind of game-changing information. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. When people hear the words line of credit, they usually only think of credit cards, but that's just one type. There are actually 3 main categories that you need to understand, and each one plays a different role in building wealth. Now, you'll hear various names for these credit lines, such as personal lines of credit, home equity line of credit or a HELOC, a business line of credit, an overdraft line of credit, a demand line of credit, securities-backed line of credit or SBLOC. You'll also hear things like a checking line of credit, so on and so forth. The point is that each of these will fall into one of these categories. Now, the first type is personal or business credit cards. These are revolving lines of credit that give you access to a predetermined limit. You use them to make purchases, you pay them off, and then you use them again. When they're managed correctly, they offer tremendous flexibility and allow you to earn rewards, extend payment cycles, and track expenses more effectively. The second type is a personal or business bank line of credit. This is usually a revolving account that sits at the bank. The main difference between this type of line of credit and credit cards is that they accrue interest the moment that you use them. They're also able to withdraw cash. Some are unsecured, some are secured by a CD or cash account, and some adjust based on your banking relationship. However, the benefit is simple. Interest is usually much lower than a credit card, and because this type of line of credit is designed for ongoing use, lenders evaluate you differently when determining your approval. And then the third type is a purpose-based line of credit, which typically comes with higher limits. These include business lines of credit, home equity line of credit, specialized lending options for large purchases, renovations, expansions, or business investments. These products exist for people who want to leverage credit strategically to make money, not just to cover everyday expenses. Each of these lines of credit plays a different role in your wealth building strategy, and when you understand how to use them together, you create a system where your credit works for you and not against you. If you've ever wondered why wealthy people use credit even when they have cash, here's the simple truth. Wealthy people understand opportunity cost. Every dollar they pay out of pocket is a dollar that no longer earns interest, it no longer compounds, and it no longer helps fund investments. Using a line of credit allows you to hold onto your cash longer, invest your money instead of spending it, and create leverage. Regular people think debt only works one way. You borrow money, you pay it back, you owe interest. Wealthy people see debt as a tool, not a trap. They use debt to make more money. Now, this approach is called debt arbitrage. It means you borrow money at a lower interest rate in order to invest it into something that generates a higher return. If your cost of borrowing is 9% and your investment returns 18%, you've doubled the spread. That difference is pure profit. The people who struggle financially are usually the ones who use debt for consumption. Wealthy people use debt for production, and that's the shift that you need to make. So let's break this down in practical terms. A line of credit gives you access to money before you need it. That's the whole purpose. It's a safety net, an opportunity fund, an expansion tool, and a financial cushion all rolled into one. Here's how it works in the real world. Let's say you're an entrepreneur. You've been watching the real estate market, you find a property that needs tens of thousands of dollars for repairs, and you know it'll produce a strong cash flow afterwards. Most people lose the deal because they don't have the cash available at that second. You, on the other hand, can use your business line of credit to cover the repairs immediately. The property becomes an asset, and that asset produces income, and that income pays down the line of credit, and you keep the cash flow. That's how leverage works. You don't sit around waiting for opportunity. You position yourself to take advantage of opportunity. Now, here's another example. Let's say you're running an online business and you need inventory or ad spend. Instead of you draining your checking account, you're gonna float the expense on a line of credit for 30 to 60 days. Your sales will fund the repayment. Your cash stays untouched, and you grow faster because you aren't limited by what's in your pocket today. That's how wealthy people scale, and now you can do it too. Now, let's talk about what it really takes to get approved for larger lines of credit. Not thousands of dollars, not $5,000. I'm talking about $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, even $1 million. This is where business owners get stuck because they think a line of credit is all about personal credit. And that is part of it, but it's not the entire part. To unlock high limit funding, you have to build two profiles simultaneously: your personal credit and your business credit. On the personal side, lenders want to see responsible utilization and on-time payments. They also want to see that you've handled credit accounts before. They want to see activity. Many people don't realize this, but using credit makes you stronger, not weaker. Cash only spending doesn't build you anything. Now, I have an entire video that covers this topic. It's called Millionaires Use This Business Funding Strategy. No one talks about it. Copy it now. I highly recommend that you watch that video for more information on your personal credit profile and how it should be structured. Now, on the business side, lenders want to understand your company. They want to see a business plan. They want to see real revenue, and they want a clear use of your funds and a team behind you. They want to see that your business has direction and purpose, not just a name. And here's something most people never consider. Every business you own creates an additional credit profile. That means multiple EINs, multiple lines of credit, and multiple opportunities to build funding capacity. If you have one personal credit profile and 3 companies, you have 4 separate paths to credit growth. Wealthy people have used this strategy for decades, and it's one of the foundations of corporate wealth building that you haven't been taught. So if you want to learn how to build your business credit in 30 days, I have another video that covers that topic as well. Again, I'm going to link that video here. You can watch it after this one. But once you start leveraging your companies correctly, everything is going to change. You stop relying on personal resources and you start building business resources. You're going to minimize your taxes. You're going to maximize deductions. You begin to structure your finances the way that the wealthy do. And when your business owns your expenses, your business earns deductions. When your business leverages credit, your business builds funding capacity. And when your business takes on debt, that leads to revenue. You're no longer burying yourself in what personal finance experts would call bad debt. You're strategically using leverage. And this is what I tell people all the time. Put away the debit cards. It drains your accounts instantly and it builds nothing in return. You want to use your credit cards. You want to use your business credit or your line of credit. You want to use the tools that the wealthy use. And don't ever feel guilty about it. That's how the system was built to work. All right, we're going to cover the part that everybody needs to hear. The biggest mistakes that people make with lines of credit are the exact same mistakes that people make with money in general. The first mistake is spending before investing. Most people earn money and immediately they want to reward themselves. I know how that feels. I get the urge all the time, but you have to suppress it. They upgrade their lifestyle. They buy things that depreciate. They want to feel the effects of money instead of using that money to create freedom. The wealthy do the opposite. They earn money, they invest the money, and then they let the investments pay for their lifestyle. Eventually, your investments will cash flow enough that they will cover all the expenses that you have and anything that you might want. Another mistake is using lines of credit for consumption instead of production. Lines of credit are not made for vacations. They're not made for entertainment. They're not made for clothes or any unnecessary purchases. These are investment tools. When you misuse them, you turn a wealth building tool into a wealth destroying habit. The next mistake is ignoring taxes. Now, when you earn money on the personal side, you can give up to 37% of that income to taxes before you even spend it, and then you throw in inflation and more than half of your buying power is already gone. Now, when you earn money through a business structure and use lines of credit strategically, you minimize your tax burden legally and responsibly. The difference is massive. And finally, the biggest mistake of all is that people wait too long to learn this. They wait until they're in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, or even older. They wait until a crisis will force them to have to take money seriously. But the longer you wait, the harder it is to get started. So I would recommend that you start right now. Debt arbitrage is the part that everybody gets excited about because it's what the wealthy use to grow fast. It's the art of turning borrowed money into profitable money. Now, here's a simple example. If you were to use a line of credit costing you 12% annually and you invest that money into something earning you 25% annually, your net gain is the difference between those two spreads. And again, that is where wealth is created. Now imagine doing that consistently with large lines of credit across multiple EINs and multiple cash flowing assets. Now, this is how leverage becomes power. It multiplies your results, it accelerates your timeline, and it puts you in a position where your money is working harder than you ever could. This is the secret most people think only wealthy families understand, but now you understand it too. And this entire financial system rewards one thing above all else: strategy. The people who have a plan to win. The people who don't will end up losing. A high limit line of credit doesn't just show up because you hope for it. It shows up because you built the structure, the history, the business credit, and the relationships to earn one. And that requires intention. When lenders see that you know exactly how to use your line of credit, when they see a use of fund chart, a clear plan for repayment, and a detailed business structure, they trust you with more money, and that's how the game works. And that is how you unlock 6 figures or even 7 figures worth of funding. So hopefully you feel a shift happening right now, and you're no longer thinking like a consumer, you're thinking like a builder. Credit isn't something to avoid, it's something to leverage. Lines of credit aren't dangerous when they're used correctly, and that is transformational. Your goal is not to stay small, your goal is to grow. And if you truly want to grow, you have to rethink everything you were taught about debt and about money. Because the truth is, the people who avoid credit will struggle forever, and the people who master credit will change their entire financial lives. The other piece to this puzzle is figuring out what type of business that you would like to start. No matter what you're doing when it comes to lines of credit, do not just get credit lines if you have no business plan. If you don't have a business currently, I do not suggest starting a business that you've never done before and then take out all of these lines of credits or cards and stuff like that and then just try to wing it. If you do not know this business, I recommend that you start it, cash flow it by yourself without leveraging anyone's money. And then once you understand the business and you've had experience and you've had some failures that led to some wins, now is the time for you to scale. Now, if you want personal guidance on building high limit credit, structuring your business properly, or understanding how to actually live a corporate credit life, I do offer one-on-one business coachings. And if you want to go deeper, join My Success University. It's a Discord group for wealth builders. And at this time, we have a free enrollment. The link is down in the description. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. You need this information. Your family needs this information. And I'm here 4 days a week trying to give you the blueprint. And the only thing that you have to do is just take action. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate you listening to me, and you guys have a wonderful day.